I'm Gus Padusis with Knox County Schools Security Division, and what brings us here this morning is we want to talk about our increased efforts to protect our children as they board and exit our school buses. And so our mission this morning is to talk about school bus safety, and obviously we're very proud of the partnerships that we have here in Knoxville. So we also have with us the Knoxville Police Department, who's represented by Chief Thomas and some of her personnel. We also are fortunate to have our Sheriff Spangler, and he has personnel here as well. And then our Tennessee Highway Safety Office is represented as well as by Steve Dillard. And then Sharm Allen, our district attorney, is here. And obviously many of you know she's made bus safety a key piece of her strategy and something that they're focusing on out of her office as well. And so it's my pleasure now to introduce Chief Thomas, and our law enforcement partners are going to talk a little bit about the law, and then our DA's office is going to talk a little bit about the consequences that are in place to deal with people that pass school buses when they should not. Thank you. Chief?
Thank you. As Chief Padusis said, we're all here today because of school bus safety and because our kids are so important to us. All the kids in the community are so important to us. And we are here mainly, I didn't do that on purpose. We're here mainly because two reasons. We want to be proactive. We've been alerted that there has been an increase in people going around buses with a stop sign out. And we want to be proactive before somebody gets hurt in Knox County. We want to make sure that before kids come back from the break, that we make all the drivers we can aware of the law and to watch out for the buses wherever they may be. The other part of what we're here to tell you about today is that we are going to charge under the state statute. So it's an enhanced penalty. It's monetarily, it's more money, and I'll let the DA Allen talk about that a little bit more. But we want to show how serious we are about these type infractions, and so that's why we want to charge with the highest penalty we can. But we want to be fair. We want to make sure that we are educating people first. So behind me, you'll see a board that talks about when you need to stop, because I think the concern that we have is that people really don't understand when they need to stop on a divided highway. And so you can use the board as a reference later, please do. But basically, if there is a median that can be driven across, then you need to stop. If it's a center turn lane and the buses come in the opposite direction that you are traveling, you need to stop. And if you're unsure, stop. Just stop. If there's a median, a concrete median, you do not need to. If there's a grassy median that cannot be driven across, then you do not need to. But we have a lot of 5 lanes roads here in the Knox County and Knoxville area, and we need to make people aware that they do need to stop if it's just a center turn lane, especially. And of course, on 2-lane roads, there should not be any explanation at all for that. You definitely need to stop when it's just a 2-lane road. So we want to make sure that everybody is educated on that and well aware, and also that we are taking this very seriously, and we are going to use the biggest penalty that we have when we go after that. And that statute, and I'm sure DA Allen will talk about it, is, just for your reference, it's 55-8-151, so that you have that. And again, just be careful and be aware. We have kids out here who are not really paying attention at times. I'm sure that when they think the school bus stop sign is out, they know they can cross, and so they may not be watching towards traffic. We have to watch as drivers. We all have to be aware of what children are doing, and they're unpredictable at times. So we just want to keep all of our kids safe, and I'm going to let Sheriff Tom Spangler come talk next, introduce him, and he'll go into this in more detail or reiterate anything he needs to talk about. But we want to show that we are all on board with the school system and keeping our kids safe. Sheriff?
Sorry about that. No, it's not going to stay, but that'll work. Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming out. I'm not going to be too redundant after what the Chief has explained to you. I think it tells you an awful lot of what we are doing as far as law enforcement and what we will be doing out here with our agencies, and we'll be on the same page. And I think that's what's important today, is to let everybody know that all of your local law enforcement agencies are going to be doing the same thing, and we're out here doing the same purpose and for the same goal, and that's to make sure that our kids stay safe, and that our that our drivers out here are paying attention. I think that's the most important thing for us to get across today, and I know that the General Allen's going to explain a little bit more in detail, but the pictures that are over here, I think that the chief pointed out, it's very important that people understand where they can and where they cannot. And as she said, and I think that's something that we need to really reiterate, if you're not sure, stop. It's just that simple. That's the biggest thing that you can do as far as a driver out here. She mentioned the kids not paying attention. These kids are out here to have a good time. They're not worrying about cars, and that's what they think, that it's okay for them to get out and do what they need to do. So it's up to us as adults and drivers to make sure that we pay attention to what's going on, and we want to make sure that we pass that on to you. And with that being said, like I said, I don't want to be too redundant with things she's already said, but it's a cooperative effort with your local law enforcement agencies. It's a partnership, and that's what we want to make sure that we're doing, that we're all on the same page again. And at this time, I want to introduce General Allen, and she'll go over some more things with the state statute and what have you. So, General.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you for being here this morning. I don't want to be redundant and reiterate everything they've said. I do want to focus on this point, though. I really can't overstate how many times we get asked, when do I really have to stop for a school bus? Everybody kind of gets, like they said, that you stop on a 2-lane road. But once you get past 2 lanes, people, I think, are confused about when they need to stop. And what we need to understand is that particular statute that has been referenced says that if the roadway is separated, you do not have to stop. It defines a separated roadway as a place where a car cannot drive. So if there's a median that you can't go across, you don't have to stop. If there's a concrete barrier that you couldn't drive through, you don't have to stop. Short of that, you must stop when you see a school bus stop. Also, you need to understand that in that statute, the statute does not say that the stop sign equipment has to be out. It says if there is a school bus stopped with children getting on or off of that bus in the roadway, you have to stop. We all know that as a school bus pulls up, the stop sign comes out as they're stopping. So don't try to be cute and skirt around that before the stop sign comes out. It's not actually the stop sign that kicks that statute in. It's the fact that a bus is stopped in the road, period. So if you see a bus that is stopped in a road anywhere and there are children getting on or off that bus, you must stop. That is what's most critically important. And we've talked about the statute that we're traveling under, and we're going to start charging people under that statute. The particular statute that deals with school buses is a statute that is a fine-only punishment, meaning there is no jail time for that particular statute. There is a fine only, and that fine ranges between $250 and $1,000. So that's the fine for that statute. But one thing I want you to understand today is that is a statute that deals with passing a school bus. There are many other statutes and charges that could be applicable if you go around a school bus when it is stopped on the road. We can charge you with other misdemeanors and other felony crimes. We could charge you with a felony reckless endangerment if you passed a school bus and there were children present and the situation has to be right for us to be able to charge that. But what I want you to understand is you could be charged with this particular charge, which is fine only, no jail time, or you could be charged with misdemeanors that are jailable and finable, or you could be charged with a felony that is finable and jailable. And God forbid, if you pass a school bus and actually injure a child, then we're in a whole different area of the law where we would charge vehicular assaults and vehicular homicides. So just be smart out there. I know we've all done it. We've all said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. I got caught behind a school bus. And I've heard it. I've said it myself. Plan ahead. When school's in session, plan ahead. There are going to be buses on the road. Slow down. You have to stop. Our children are our most precious resource. Do not go around those school buses and endanger our children. Law enforcement has told you they will charge, and I am telling you that in the DA's office, we will pursue the punishments for those charges. So be smart out there, and please protect our children. Please protect our children. And then from here, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do.
I'll close it out.
From here, Gus is going to close it out.
Thank you. Well, in closing, just to give you an idea of the scope and the scale, is we know in the 2017-2018 school year, our own bus contractors reported at least 600 incidents in which cars illegally or dangerously passed a stop school bus that was loading or unloading children. And so if we know about 600 incidents, then we all are pretty comfortable telling you that it's very, very larger of a problem than that. And so we're all just working together to try to prevent a tragedy. And so I think I am okay if I tell you that we'll all be around for a few minutes. If you have questions or you want to have some individual conversations, I think most everyone here will certainly try and accommodate you. All right? Hey, thank you again for coming. Thank you.